What if Marvel is secretly setting up the biggest Spider-Man crossover ever, and we already got the first hint years ago? Because believe it or not, Spider-Man No Way Home may have already confirmed the return of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield for future Avengers movies. Let's break this down. Marvel originally planned Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars as the end of the multiverse saga. Now those plans have shifted into Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. But one thing hasn't changed: the importance of multiverse Spider-Man. Ever since No Way Home, Andrew Garfield has constantly been asked whether he's returning. In a recent interview, he even joked that people will keep asking him until he's 90 years old. And honestly, that says everything. Because No Way Home wasn't just a cameo event. It was the beginning of something much bigger. It introduced the multiverse in a real way, and bringing back Tobey and Andrew was never meant to be a one-time thing. If Marvel doesn't bring them back in Secret Wars, that would actually be more surprising, because their real role is still ahead. Just like Wolverine was brought back in Deadpool, and Wolverine, even after getting a perfect ending in Logan, Marvel clearly has long-term plans for legacy characters. And the same logic applies here. Now think about this. Fans have always wanted to see Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Hugh Jackman's Wolverine share the screen. That's one of the biggest dream crossovers in Marvel history, and Secret Wars is the perfect place to make that happen. Now, based on multiple reports and leaks, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man might appear in Avengers Doomsday, while Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man could return directly in Secret Wars. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is also expected to be part of Secret Wars, making it a 3 Spider-Man reunion again, but on a much bigger scale. Now the big question is, how will Marvel handle all 3 Spider-Men in one movie filled with so many characters? The most likely answer is Marvel's classic strategy: splitting heroes into different teams. We've seen this in Infinity War and Endgame. Different groups, different missions. So imagine this. One team could include Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America. Another team could feature Thor, Cyclops, and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Each group representing different corners of the Marvel Universe: Avengers, X-Men, Fantastic Four, and more. This way, every Spider-Man gets meaningful screen time without overcrowding the story. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Tom Holland's Spider-Man might get the black symbiote suit in Secret Wars, just like in the comics, and if that happens, there's a strong possibility that he could temporarily join Dr. Doom's side, especially if Doom resembles Tony Stark in some way. That emotional connection could influence Peter, and that sets up a powerful conflict. Tobey and Andrew's Spider-Man might have to fight Tom's Spider-Man to save him from the symbiote, and Tobey's Spider-Man has already experienced this before. He knows exactly what that darkness can do. Now let's talk about something even bigger. What if Marvel is bringing back one of the most emotional moments in MCU history, but with a completely different twist? Because in Avengers Doomsday, we might see Tony Stark's funeral scene return. Yes, the same heartbreaking moment from Avengers Endgame, but this time from a new perspective. According to Marvel insider James McQuill, who has a solid track record with past leaks, Marvel is reportedly planning to refilm Tony Stark's funeral scene specifically for Doomsday. But here's the catch after. This won't be the exact same scene we saw in Endgame. Instead, it will be shown from a completely new angle, possibly focusing on different characters or hidden details that we didn't notice before. James even shared an image related to the funeral, which adds more weight to this claim. And now it actually makes sense why Marvel is planning to re-release Avengers Endgame before Doomsday. It's not just about building hype, it's also about reminding fans of key moments that will directly connect to the next movie. Because Doomsday is expected to act as a direct continuation of Endgame, and Tony Stark's funeral could play a major role in setting up the story. Now, we already had hints about this. The Russo brothers themselves confirmed that Tony Stark's snap will be connected to future events in the MCU. And now, with this funeral scene being revisited, it feels like Marvel is building something deeper around that moment. But here's an important question. Will Marvel actually bring back all the characters who were present at the funeral? Honestly, that seems unlikely. Most of those characters haven't even been confirmed for Doomsday yet, so bringing all of them back just for one scene doesn't really make sense. Instead, it's more likely that Marvel will use clever filmmaking tricks. For example, they could show the scene from a distance or from behind using body doubles instead of bringing every actor back. This way, they can recreate the moment without needing the full cast. And more importantly, the focus won't be on the characters, it will be on the hidden detail within that scene. Now here's where things get really interesting, because there's a strong possibility that this funeral scene could include a subtle hint or even a cameo of Dr. Doom. Since Doom is rumored to have a connection with Tony Stark, or at least resemble him in some way, this scene could be used to tease his presence in the MCU. Imagine this: a mysterious figure watching Tony Stark's funeral from a distance, possibly hinting that Doom is about to step into Tony's legacy. That would be a powerful setup. But Dr. Doom isn't the only possibility here. There's another character who could be connected to this scene: Steve Rogers. It's possible that this moment ties into Steve's decision to stay in the past after returning the Infinity Stones. There have been earlier leaks suggesting that Doomsday might include a scene where Steve talks to Scott Lang and other Avengers before going back in time. And if Chris Chris Evans is indeed returning, this could fit perfectly, because Steve's decision might have triggered a chain of events that eventually leads to incursions, and Dr. Doom's involvement. So this funeral scene could connect to either Steve Rogers' timeline decision or Dr. Doom's introduction. Right now, both possibilities feel equally likely, but personally, I'd love to see Marvel use this moment to tease Dr. Doom, because bringing back such an emotional scene and then tying it to a major villain reveal would be absolutely powerful. So what do you think? What should Marvel do with Tony Stark's funeral scene? Should it focus on Steve Rogers' story, or should it introduce Dr. Doom? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates.